that will cause the disease of our decay. How did we do that? And we didn't know, ignorant. We went for a gynecologist, tests, and all that. We were active, we were okay. Marriage is not sex. What do you mean by sex? Time shall come when you will get rid of it. And come home, we are good to go. Let us not use that sex now as a yardstick, as number one thing in a home. Because when you are aging, that is when you will know whether you are active or not.
Okay, good day, ladies and gentlemen. You are welcome to another section of the Room 69 podcast. My name is Confidence Paulinus, and I remain your host, Comfy Paul for short. And I have my delectable colleagues who are going to make this make sense. Of course, when we sit here, we try to profile solutions to some societal problems that border on marriage, relationship, and what have you. I'm going to introduce some personalities which we have here. I have with me Miss A. Please say hi to you.
Hello, people. Happy to be before you again.
It's wonderful to have you. Thank you. Then I have the very humble young man, Mr. Barrett. It's nice to have you here again.
Good to see you again. Hi, viewers. Let's do this again.
And then I have a very important personality. Of course, sometimes we try to deviate from the normal and then try to, bring some important personalities who are also going to extend the scope of our topic and discussion. And in the light of that, we have brought a very important person who is by name Mr. Easy. Please say hi to us, sir.
You're welcome. How are you doing?
It's nice to have you, sir. It's very nice to have you.
At all.
Is it not better so that we collect the animals in
the
society? Let's see how it goes.
Of course, this is Room 69 Podcast. In case you're just watching, this is where real talk meets your sexual wellness. Stay glued to the screen as you're about to learn a lot. Thank you. Okay, sir. Whatever conversation we have in our podcast are things that borders on everybody. Like we consider everybody, both the Gen Z, the married, middle class, those who are not yet married, and all of that. So we are just going to ask some questions so that people can benefit from it. Very, very difficult, very complex questions. And then the first one will go like this. We have noticed in scenarios and cases, there have been circumstances where you see young men. They try to send a girl, for example, to school. You build that girl up from becoming nothing. And then when the girl has come to age, like this girl is now balanced, she has gotten the education, gotten everything she wants. You see that guy, she's no longer interested in that guy. And then we also see situations whereby a girl will be with a guy, the guy had nothing. Be like, oh babe, I'll be here for you. I'll have to wait for you no matter what. We can build this together. Those days, in the days of our parents, those things where once they see that you're auspicious, you have this vision, they are ready to stay with you. So you get this like a contradiction between the male and the female gender. The male gender can train you to school, and then when you get to a point, you'll be like, oh, this person is no longer, I don't need this person. And then the female gender can join you growing up, and then it will get to a point when you've made it, you'll be like, oh no, this guy is no longer good for me. So please, how can you reconcile this complexity?
Thank you. Thank you very much. I want to stay correct before I reconcile any issue. Whether you like it or not, gone are the days, or yesteryears, and today is just the same. How our parents nurtured their wives, their spouse, then still how we ought to have done that, and that is what is happening today. I still don't believe in their perspective that says, this is computer age. There's nothing like computer age because we still came from same womb. That's one impression. Okay. No element of reconciliation. It depends on the man. It depends on the woman, the girl. How do I say this? Remember, during the olden days, in fact, when our parents got married, they were keeping on one wife, just one. Eventually, because of the trend then, they marry another one. Even the love they had in just first one. Do you know why they did that? Why they did that? Even when the lady, the so-called wife, must have helped the man go, that man will still love her, no problems. Why the man was doing that then is because of the notion. If you marry 100 wives, marry billions of wives, you are mad. You are mad.
Yeah.
Then upon that, they will still go ahead and marry wives upon the love they have in the first one that help them grow. They will still go ahead and marry 2. They will still go ahead and marry 3. At the long run, the both, whether he married 500 or not, there will be peace in the house.
Yeah.
There will be peace in the house. So it depends on you and the person to be married. That is just what answers this question.
Yeah.
As we proceed, we will see how we get to
connection.
know.
You want to comment?
Yeah. I want to say a little thing about it also because I understand. Because if you just check nowadays, comparing yesterday and today, like people will say that yesterday it seems as if this education, this exposure has not come into play. So it was like people will see it as if it's like a slavery thing. Yeah. You don't have a choice. Once you're married to this person.
Yes.
You don't have a question to ask and all of that. You just have to live by that. And I think a lot of people will drag that is the reason why they were peace at home those days. Yeah. But life is progressive. And as time goes on, definitely our mind must expose. You're a lecturer and you teach a lot of things. There are certain things that you taught your student today that you're like, no, this is what you used to hear, but this is what it is now because life is transformative. Life is changing. So in the case like this, now you have a lady, just what he was asking. This guy has trained the lady. At first, when they were both of them were just together as boyfriend, girlfriend, starting lives and all of that, the girl might say, okay, I love this guy. He's my kind of person. Now, okay, the girl wants to go to school. The guy say, okay, fine, let me train you. You get to school. And at the end of the day, only for you to discover that 3, 4, 5 years later, this guy is not up to my standard. So I think the question here, the problem here is that while you're training this lady to grow, how far you as a man is growing. So in a situation whereby you being the man, you do not grow, you do not transform yourself, or you do not add more, you do not appreciate this knowledge and intelligence that is supposed to appreciate. At the end of the day, this lady has grown to a certain level, and the person is coming back. How are you going to blame this lady for not decide to stoop so low to marry this person that refused to grow simply because
we should we should blame the both sides.
Okay.
There was this mechanic. He hadn't anything, and he was telling the lady. I mean, mechanic, the motor mechanic.
Yeah.
He sold all he could. He did everything he could to make sure that this young girl is a graduate.
Yeah.
Are you getting me?
Yes, sir.
After years, in fact, years went by. Do you know what happened? This lady in question could not even, just like what you said, could not even come. He now said that this is not the man, this is not the class I ought to have married. What is happening? As I'm talking to you, she went back on a use of, in fact, a copper shone attire. That's a NYSC at the phone. Eventually, this still went back to the mechanic. You know what happened? The lady had a mission, a vision, not to marry this young man that trained him for his study. Her mission was to go and settle this man.
Wow.
Not to even propose to him. Eventually, and immediately this mechanic saw this lady, he knelt down, thinking that this is the same love they used to enjoy. He knelt down and confessed and told, in fact, it was a scenario. People gathered. What do I do, baby, my love? What is happening? That is happening. I suffered. This lady came with spell behind.
This gender is wicked.
Came to sort of embarrass the young man that trained.
Yeah.
That's wrong.
What happened? Hello? You are no longer my honey.
Wow.
This is my man that has proposed to me. And we said we have already agreed to settle you some millions of.
Wow.
The man, the mechanic, the poor man had to cry and started shedding tears. How he sold all he had to make sure that this young comes somebody.
So I think I think the question,
It depends on the two
okay.
parties. There's one book I read, one of the Shakespearean books. There's no art to find a man's contortion on his face.
There's no what?
There's no art to find a man's contortion on his face. That's William Shakespeare. One of the books I read.
Okay.
Signifying
Yes.
that even when you are training someone, you have another. That was maybe what the lady has seen. From what the lady has seen on campus must have told her that this is not the man.
But that's
Without remembering that, the evil, of course, everything has nemesis.
Yeah.
That's the law of karma. It boomerangs.
Yeah.
The law of retributive justice.
Okay.
You can't flee. If you don't, they don't bite the finger that face you,
Yeah.
expecting good. If it is not now, maybe later
In time
it
to
will
come,
come.
yes.
Yeah.
So the essence of this is not even the money to be settled with that young man. The essence is the aftermath is just the result that will come later.
Yeah.
Okay.
In other words, to answer this question, it depends on the person being trained and the trainee.
Period.
Period.
Yeah, period. I think that's good.
Yes, it's that thing where our emotions, most times we let emotions just take over the whole thing. What Mr. Eze was trying to say here is just that with this situation now, yes, the girl might be feeling that she's trying to, maybe pay back, feeling that it's all about the money, forgetting that the guy also had his own intention.
Yeah.
Now, I don't really subscribe to the fact that, you just walk up to the guy with your spouse. That's harsh. That's very harsh. Even myself as a woman, I can't do that. But there will have been a place of dialogue.
Oh,
You understand?
Yeah.
Maybe like she goes ahead of time, talk to the man, or if there's someone in between, let's talk about this. But that's why I always say that as far as you're dealing with human being, there will always be disappointment in one way or the other.
Yeah.
And going back to that first question of, the whole thing of why it's as if before it's not like now, a lot of people are lacking in tolerance and patience these days. Everybody's like, I even know of someone who was saying that they're like, when it comes to marriage, if I enter and it doesn't work, I walk out.
God.
And I'm like, why did you marry in the first place if you can't fight for that thing you worked for?
Yeah.
So the problem now is patience, tolerance. Nobody's ready for that. And everybody feels like I can do, before I feel like the time of our fathers, it used to be that thing where, let's assume, let me leave confidence.
Go ahead.
So it's that thing where they there today. Is that stuff where if I am Mr. Barry, we are doing something.
Yeah.
I will consider Mr. Barry's emotions. If it was before, I will consider how he's going to feel about this thing. We should not end it this way. Let's do it. But these days, everybody's like, I can do it anyhow. I beg Mr. Barry, if you know fits, man, just shift. So it's just all about understanding the other person's emotion. And I'm not saying get drowned in that person's emotion or get trapped in it, but let there be conscience.
Let me ask a question, sir, from what
please.
she was saying. We are not exactly where I was coming from in terms of this, having this understanding.
Yeah.
So now, coming to nowadays, what are the things to really look at in marriage that can make, because you cannot just be patient, you cannot just be there and say, okay, let me, because it's marriage. Because this thing called marriage, you don't have another life to live. You get? So once you step into marriage and at the end of the day find out that, okay, this is not good for me. The happiness is not there, the fulfillment is not there and all of that. And because say, okay, they say it's called marriage, you just have to stay. So I think it all boils down to the foundation. Now boils down to the foundation. When the choice were being made, you get? Because if you make the right choice, definitely. I used to tell people, like, I'll tell the lady, I say, you shouldn't marry somebody that you cannot respect.
True.
All right?
True.
And as a man, I would say, don't marry somebody that you don't like.
Okay.
For me, because it's from the likeness, love developed.
Yeah.
So now, my question to you is that, in terms of making the choice from the onset, what are the things to look at? For like a lady, young lady that now, okay, your mind, you've got to that point, you want to marry. What are the things to look at in a man? And for a man,
for Christ's sake, if I were to remarry now,
Okay.
I'm not going to look at under 20. I am going for 30, in fact, middle 30s. That is where, because do you know why? Because that lady in question must have enjoyed life.
Yeah,
Because I've seen
exactly.
it. In fact, she's ready for marriage.
Yes.
Yeah.
very
Whatever thing that comes in the marriage, she would accept. She would tolerate.
First in their age
That's
matters.
maturity. Come on. That is the blatant truth here. Let me shock you. Our forefathers, I always refer back to them. They are my study. They are my case here. They did a lot. They did. Okay, if our forefathers could marry 5 wives, there would be peace in the house. Do you want to tell me those challenges nowadays in this contemporary, they never saw it?
Yeah,
They did,
yeah.
and they still kept home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nowadays, reverse being the case. You marry, we marry, just one wife, just one. Of course, in fact, contemporary husbands, they don't care for 2 wives again. They want to remain one.
Just
so
one.
that their lifetime span will be what? Elongated.
Yes.
Will be, upon that. Having married one, just one love, one everything, give it to one woman, yet.
Problem.
There'll be problem. Have you asked yourself that? It's quite embarrassing. In fact, it is
Very embarrassing.
disheartening. Embarrassment is understatement. In fact, it is a brouhaha. Yeah, it needs a serious. I don't still believe in this nowadays. What of yesteryears? It's not same human being. Is it because of the insertion of phones?
Yeah.
Is it because? Ask me why it must be like this. I keep asking. I have a friend, one of my colleagues, my fellow academic. He has married twice.
Okay.
By the time you look at his stories, you will even say this same man that married, you will be like this. But by the time you come close to him and he tells you how the first went, the second went, you will say, wow, come on, you are there, thank God. You will not pity him, even when he married twice again. He's even going for a third one now. Of course, yes. What
exactly is the problem? Is that the problem with the lady that she's meeting, or is with him being the man?
Many things, maturity, upbringing.
Matters.
Upbringing, foundation.
True.
That is where the cookie crumbles.
Yeah.
Many things. Tolerance, they don't even endurance, they even prefer to be single ladies. To, getting hooked and getting the challenges and facing their music.
Yes, sir. Let me
because when you're a single lady, you are in fact, you have already changed your name.
Yeah.
And men, of course, let's use rivers as a study here. Men, we prefer those single ladies because they are HIV free.
Okay, now.
They are. Even when we are looking for those ones that even have ring.
But they for fish.
What do you expect me to say?
Sir, let me chip in something. Because in as much as I am,
The seat is hot.
in as much as I'm somehow a Gen Z too, we just try to balance this a little. Because a lot of, I think, a lion's share of,
Some women will not even like the Jay-Z you answer.
okay, no problem.
Because when you enter into this marriage of a thing,
Yes.
most of your social life, most of your activities will be denied.
Yes,
Are you
true.
aware? Because not all nowadays women will tolerate that.
Sir, a lion's
Because
share
as you
of,
are smart like this, the woman you kept in the house will feel that when you go out there, you must be,
insecurity.
do many things.
Okay.
That is the blatant truth.
okay, sir. A chunk of most of your statement has been predicated on foundation.
Yeah.
You get. So it means that
Upbringing.
upbringing. A lot of things you're saying is most of the women we produce these days are consequent upon training.
Women
Which
and
they
men,
got
yes.
in women and men. So, sir, but we have seen a lot of scenarios and circumstances where you see you're from a very good family.
True.
You came from a very good family, very sound one. I'm not talking about one who understands what morality is. One who understands where they come from. Like, this is pure. But then you still see some of these people deviate from the thing. Also, another thing you said is, like, they deviate from the normality. Like, we know your father, we know your mother. So where did you get this from? That's one. Then secondly, sir, there's another thing you say, which I do not really agree with.
Okay.
To a lot of extent, I don't believe marriage is all about age. We're respected. We are all opinioneers, and I respect your opinion 100%. But I seriously don't believe, in my opinion, that marriage is all about age. Because yes, we know that there are a lot of persons who are not even up to 30, 36.
Please,
But yes, sir, so
hold
that
their
you,
peace.
you
Hold their peace, please. You said age in here. It could be billions of years that you are not mature in reasoning. That
yes.
is why I mentioned maturity, not age. So continue.
Okay, that's what I wanted to. So
Even
because
the less the underage that is into a marriage
Yes.
might be much more mature.
yes, that's what
To
I
handle the
that's
situation.
where I was coming
I
to.
also
That is where I'm coming. That is where I was coming to.
Okay.
That
Maybe
we
you didn't
shouldn't
get it
just
well.
we shouldn't just take age as. There are still a lot of Gen
I
Z.
never mentioned age.
Okay,
What I did was
too. Maturity. There are still a lot of Gen Z. Please, my Gen Z out there are a lot of us.
Defender of the
Within
Gen
my
Zs.
age bracket,
Gang, gang.
who are even lower than my age,
Gang,
a
gang.
lot of us who can go into marriage now, and then we do better than those who are above us in age and all that.
Yes, I
Am
accept.
I lying?
Now let me add to this.
accept.
In as much as that is acceptable, still there are certain things that only age can teach you.
Okay.
There are certain experiences in life that only age, first-hand experience can teach you. Because yes, like I said, today, see, if you want to I used to tell people that look at age when you want to get married. Look at age. Reason is that yes, morality counts. The kind of background you come from, your parents train you and all of that. At your 20, probably you start your advanced education, BSc and all of that. Within 2024, you're done with your first degree. Within that 24 to 30, you must have one or two relationships. And your first and second relationship, me personally, I don't advise you to get married to your first and second relationship.
Wow.
Wow.
Unless, listen,
Wow.
I'm coming.
That's a big
If you
statement.
it's a very big statement, but I know what I'm talking about. If you
But
have
it
the
counts.
first relationship, your first relationship experimental.
No.
If you end up in that marriage, you yourself, you feel as if there's something you left behind.
So in other words, people should explore.
There's a
first.
small percentage that
I didn't
disagree.
say, listen now, hear me. I didn't say you should have sex. I'm not saying that you should go about sleeping with all guys. No. Get my point.
So you're
Yeah,
encouraging
I'll go there.
heartbreak.
You can definitely have a relationship. Listen, you can have a relationship because you must have to study human beings.
And the relationship
Your
ends, there's
mindset.
heartbreak.
Eh?
If the relationship ends, there's heartbreak.
Yes,
so we
no,
should
I
have
see to
heartbreak
have-
one
by
and
that time,
two.
so
Let me
you have an
let me
experience
bring this question
with
to
heartbreak.
Sahia. So let me bring this question to you.
Eh.
See, we are talking about relationship.
Yes.
Yes.
And the relationship you're having is this now. Nobody asking you to go and have heartbreak.
But my emotions
You
will
can
be vested.
No,
Okay,
your
that's
emotion.
it.
And this is the question I'm asking.
Are you going for trial and error?
Let me ask a question.
Are you
Let me
going for
ask a
trial and
question.
error?
The question I want to ask is that,
Okay.
can you actually be in a relationship? Because I understand that a relationship should be a ground whereby you explore, you learn a lot of things from another person, from you, what you have, able to contribute to the welfare of another person, and what the other person has, able to contribute to your own intelligence and growth and all of that. Can you actually have a relationship without emotionally connected to that relationship?
How can? Is it possible? Yeah. It's not possible. Whether or not, it has billions of challenges. Whether you are dating the person for marriage or not. I still insist. There's a popular saying that goes, a broken relationship is better than a broken marriage.
100.
So it's better. The do's, the does, the whatever, the negative and all that. There's billions of attachment emotionally. Yeah, it should. But men, we are still what we are. We are polygamous in nature. Whether I like it or not, one is not enough for us. Yes, of course. Okay, let's come.
That one is not enough for us.
Yes,
You see, it is now
that's
uncomfortable for
one
me.
of the books I read too. That's for and wapa, a furu. One is enough. I counter that. One is not enough.
Why? But there are
Because of-
men that one is enough for them.
because unless you have to bring a Christianity here, the person must be a serious born again. If I should use that, born again in quotes, because we still have born again that are
Anyhow,
born
again.
twice and born.
Oh my
So, sir, you believe in that thing that one is not enough for men, right?
It depends. For me, one is enough for me.
Okay.
But generally speaking, men, we are polygamous in nature. Meaning that you will still keep your wife. You can still maintain that relationship. But you have billions of concubines outside. That is the implication.
And that,
If you recall,
and that
if you swear, you even die now.
and that will take me to the question on sex matters, because when you said men, one lady is not enough. What's that? Sex, because sex is the reason why men go out. Honestly,
Actually,
because the truth is that when you're talking about
sex is not the only reason why
listen,
men go
hear
out.
me, just hear me well. Sex is the major reason, because women itself, women are, I don't want to use the word liability, but women are responsibility. I think that's the right word.
I agree, yes.
Women are responsibility, and no man wants too much responsibility. In as much as, when we know that we have something to do as a man, you know that you have responsibility. It keeps you on your toes. It makes you want to hustle more and all of that. But still, responsibility is one of our issues. So man want to avoid what we put so much pressure on them. So the only reason why are you looking at me like that? The only reason why a man should leave one woman that could have been okay for him and begin to look for another one is the issue of sex.
Okay.
For me, I think that's how I close that bracket.
Are you aware that sex you are talking?
Yeah.
The sex in a marriage.
Yeah.
In a marriage, there is a time tired of it.
actually.
Exactly.
Wait, yet you will still see some women that are, oh man, which adjective do I use to qualify that? I mean, okay, the active. I think that is a colloquial. I like that. That is what is trending now. Active. That is active. Still insist upon her going outside and doing most things. She should be stressed out. She now recalled how and when she was a spinster, when she was not married, thinking that she will introduce that in a marriage.
Yeah.
You will fuck and die. That is the blatant truth.
Yeah.
And it is not like that. For men, mature men that have billions of engagements and all that, that is why it's not as if they are not active, they are not productive. You will see them, says I take it, but you don't make it a paramount thing in your home.
Another problem here.
Now, if you have a woman like that, my brother, and probably you didn't make love with her when you come back from your rig or from your business and all that, because of that, she will be messing up.
Yes.
Such will lead to a very big divorce. You know why? If she's not satisfied for that, give her a sex toy. Buy, since you feel that you are a fuck recant.
Okay.
Take. Be making love.
Now we are running wild.
Because most marriages are broken today is because of what? Because of that.
Yeah.
And it should not be a yardstick. Why? Because we have many things to do in our home.
Sir, can I pick something from that? Sorry, Mr. Bai. Based on what you said, let me just pick something in the next 1-2 minutes. Not as much as I'm checking our time. If you are in support that, okay, babe, if I walk in a rig and I say, babe, I'll be traveling. Okay. Please take some of these toys. I buy like 2, 3, 4.
Why will you buy 3, 4?
No, wait. Now, of course, we have different ones. I don't want to start mentioning them. Because of the kind of work.
Go ahead, please.
We have to research more.
Yeah.
There's one they call Rose. You've never heard of it.
I've never heard of.
Maybe you are talking from experience.
No, sir. That's why we call Rose. My Gen Z people know these things. That's why we call Rose. I'm serious. Yes. They use it. So I was having a conversation with a girl. She said there's one called Rose. I said, please tell me. I really want to learn. She said, why? So I know. I do podcast. So I need this thing so I can educate people's ignorance. He said that one you just have to place it on the clit and it start doing a lot. Now, sir, imagine some of these things. I walk in a rig, back to that. I walk in it, there's this, don't find yourself, you're not
It's too hot.
I walk in a rig and I get some of these things and I give it to my wife. I say, babe, take these things. When I go and come back the next 2 months, when I tap, madam is not feeling the same way again. So I am now the architect of my own doom.
Problem.
You get, because I will not want to. So instead of these things, what I believe is that women should try. And you know the nature of your husband's job.
Try to do
if
what?
You were not, they
To
should
adjust.
try and be to adjust.
And the men adjust for the
Hello,
women.
please, Gen Z, please, or what? Why I gave you that instance? Sorry, why I gave you that instance is not as if the a real husband will buy such.
Yes.
It's just for the wife to hold on, to calm down.
That's how many men are ready to calm down.
For me, you have gone to rig and you have told me that you are messing up with boys. For Christ's sake, you are going home. Why? You are going home. biblically stated, that's unfaithfulness. As a woman, you know that you would anyhow, as long as you can do it. So why at that point in time you make it your number one? Are you not tired? Before you know it, it's the same woman that gave birth to 5 children, grown-up children. Yet she doesn't still want to get the last about that.
Mr. Barry, one question.
There's one man that I always, one of my role models, I always like his thoughts.
Let's hear his name so we can also.
Oh, I will tell you that.
Okay.
That's E.A. Headbroom. He always say, I will not, in fact, I will give my wife financial orgasm.
Oh
Meaning
my
that
God.
you give
I love
billions
that.
and
I hope
billions
you're still
and billions.
okay.
Financial orgasm
is better.
I don't have time to even make this. 5 seconds is even too much for me to make love to my wife and all that. It's not, gone are the days where, that is what I'm, not that you will buy sex toy to your faithful wife. Just
Let me ask him this question.
Okay.
So for a woman, it's unfaithfulness when she cheats. And then for a man, it's polygamy when he cheats.
Beautiful. We are the men in this house.
Yeah.
Are you aware that a woman, when I catch my woman with another man, or boys or the fact, you are going home. But when a woman catches the husband remains. That is how it is, generally speaking.
Because that's his house.
That doesn't mean what we normally do. What men do nowadays is because eyes are. When you do that, don't introduce another concubine into your matrimonial home. You should you
One
can
small
do
respect for women.
anything you want outside, no problems, but don't come to this holy house, holy bait.
I was listening to one clip like that.
Now,
Yeah,
what for
this
you?
guy, you were asking this guy that, okay, if your wife caught you cheating,
Yes.
will your wife forgive you? You understand? So the guy was like, say him, he will not even forgive his wife.
Okay, let's have it.
Catch him. For the fact that you caught him cheating, he won't forgive you. Now ask why. You say, because I put so much effort
Into hiding.
to hide it. And now my wife have to catch me. That means she's smarter than me. Okay, that was a funny one, but this is where I'm coming.
Life is unfair.
Marriage is an institution that you don't have graduation.
There's nothing you can really do about it because,
So anything
and
you
that is
say,
why
they
I want to ask a question here. One question is that does marriage really have a formula of which somebody can say, okay, if we apply this formula, things
To
will
work.
work. Then number two, in the same light of sex, there are some people that today women complain that their man is the one that is this active every time want to do, every time want to act. And at the end of the day too, there's also research that proves that okay, man, to avoid prostate cancer, you need to have sex as regular as possible. And all of these things are in as much as we say, okay, they are opinion of men. We all research, science has also proven that yes, like that. And there are some of us, we were talking about age before. Some late guys get married early. Like me, I got married in my 30s. All right. So at that time, you're active. You want a woman that is here and there, giving you there, because you don't want to really go outside. The truth is that the problem out there are not be smart. Okay, now come back, your wife, every time I'm tired, every time I want to do, every time I want to do. And remember, when we were in the relationship, now back to back.
Yes, so
Now we are now married and once in 2 months.
Yes,
It becomes a problem. So in a situation like this, set up from the side of the man, you are the one that is active. You are the one that wants the sex. The woman is this one that every time I'm tired, I don't want to do, they don't really have that. He loves you and all of that. What exactly? That's exactly the foundation.
Due to what? Her
happened?
tiredness is due to what?
The tiredness. Listen, we are not talking about. Let me tell you one truth. Before I go back to the question, the truth is that if you want to do, you're a woman. If you want to have sex, you will have sex, irrespective of how.
Is that
how is it not true?
Of course, yes.
If
you
I'm
want
tired, I cannot.
No matter the kind of time.
If I do housework,
because I understand
cook for you
that.
and
I
all.
understand that sex is not. What we do physically is say, okay, penetration, all of that, is actually the fulfillment of the mind.
Emotional.
But
Do you
if I'm
understand?
tired and I lie like a log of wood, you won't like it. You
Some
want me to
men
twist that?
will. Some men will.
That is why
We will, oh.
So okay,
We will, because that is once we get there, it will be active again.
This thing is just
so in the
It's
situation,
not a
how do
laughing.
we
It's
solve
not,
this
I want you
issue?
to recall.
Blood
It's
tonic.
not a laughing matter.
It's not a laughing
It's
matter.
not indeed. Go ahead.
Because at the end of the day, you see that a lot of times men living walking on the street unhappy and all of that. See, there's so many. You were talking about men not being. There are so many men that they want to stick to their
Let me
wives.
see,
They want
please.
to have just
Hello,
that
sir.
is- So
Let me use myself as a study.
okay.
When I got married, we were making it every day, every day, every day.
Wow.
Thinking that if, as a man, if I didn't do it, the woman would say I am mugu or I'm not active. Listen and get it. By then, we hadn't issue. No child, no children.
Yeah.
It was a case. I didn't know. I was dying in a fool's paradise
Anyway,
until I consulted an expert, a gynecologist. How did I do that? 2 years went. Nothing happened. It was my age mate from the village that saw a related case. He called me. Eze, stop. What am I still doing? Since I've not even no child, no nothing. What are we doing? I didn't know that we were the epitome of our misfortune.
Wow.
That we caused the disease of our decay. How did we do that? And we didn't know, ignorant. We went for a gynecologist, tests, and all that. We were active, we were okay, we were productive, we were fertile. Then what's it? The woman came and, in fact, and started questioning us.
wow.
What happened? We are okay. Look at my sperm, look at her own. We are okay. What is the problem? I opened up. Mommy, this woman doesn't want me to rest. Every day, every day. Every day is even too much. In fact, we must have sex more than 3-4 times a day. The woman nearly slapped my woman. Is that how you behave?
That's
You think that marriage is this? Oh, you want to bring when you were like that? No! Stop! Mommy, if I didn't do it, Doc, if I didn't do it, it would be as if I am not active. I think I must do something, though, and I was doing it without knowing that I was wasting my child. Casually.
Does that mean
Carelessly, wait. She now advised, please, from now henceforth, meet your wife once a month. Did you hear? Once a month. If you want to produce.
that was around
Is it
what
possible?
age? That was around what age?
I was 36.
Around
I was
30.
36 years.
This
Could
new
you do that?
education.
Imagine such an advice. Now you say every day. Imagine such an advice. I didn't know. We didn't know.
Once a month.
You know, once a month.
That's
And you should target when you should do that. That all this while you people have been making love is just, you are just enjoying yourself. It's fun you are doing. You are not looking towards getting a child. If you did, you would have relaxed. A man would have taken nourished food, vegetables and all that, and prepare and pray to God and prepare for child.
Aye.
So
We didn't know.
Strategy.
There and then, she gave us some drugs, which we took. Doctors now.
Yeah.
We must buy. We must buy. We bought. As I'm talking to you, my brother, it worked. It worked.
hey, praise the Lord.
It worked.
Good.
So marriage is not sex. What do you mean by sex? Time shall come when you will get rid of it. That is why I earlier stated that it is maturity. It takes two to tango. When you romance with your woman, make her that you are faithful, you will not misbehave outside, no problems. I will be there for you.
Sir.
Let's say the woman, you have gone to the business, gone to school and all, and all. Come home, we are good to go. Let us not use that sex now as a yardstick, as number one thing in a home. Because when you are aging, that is when you will know whether you are active or not.
You're not. So in the light of this, there are some persons, there are some men that if they shoot once, it goes in.
That's right.
They shoot the second time.
This could happen when those men were in their bachelorhood. Before I know it, okay, sorry. I know. I think I am a realist. I don't fabricate stories. Who on earth could even imagine that Eze Madabuchi answered them, PhD candidate, should, when he gets married, will not even give birth immediately. You now find out that even when we are in our we'll be doing it, but by the time you hook up, you'll be looking for that. You'll be
I've heard
looking for
such a
that.
story, yeah.
Quote me. This is generally, that is why you have to now say that. Like one of my colleagues said that he will get his wife impregnated before he goes to pay her dad. If you keep your mind there, you will not get it.
Yes, yes.
One of the church women told him that it's not like that. You should go and, in fact, confess.
Yeah.
Tell God. Otherwise, you will not even see it till date. Imagine that. In other words, you not look at children as what? As jara. Marriage is not sex. Marriage is not children. Marriage is just peace, happiness, and love. How do I do? When you know that you love your wife, or your wife loves you, is when you are aging and eventually, sick. That is when that love will come. Whether you take care of the person or not. I have a sister. Currently, my blood sister, the husband is blind as I'm talking to you.
Yes.
In fact, for more than 30-something years.
Yeah.
And this, my sister, has been taking care of this man. Till date, this man, when you go to where this man stays, in a sick bed, you will not even conclude that he is sick because of how my sister remembered how they had this love, how they started, how good this man have been. That is when the love comes.
And my contribution to that now falls down.
If we start today, we will not end.
Yeah, exactly. And that is where my take on this, from what you have, I've really listened to you and from what you're saying here. Everything starts from, everything boils down. This old age, taking care of me, marriage, really having this. It falls down to how we all start. All right.
Yes,
and that's the reason why, even when you're talking about the sex angle, we must understand that, hey, if you get married, like I said, I get married as early as possible. And at the end of the day, I want to enjoy my marriage for like 5, 10, 15 years before I begin to talk about responsibilities. And that is why any expert will tell you that, hey, if you get married today, the first 3, 4, 5 years, that's not your relative stays with you. So that both of you can do the thing.
Bond very well.
Yes. If you do in the inside kitchen, just bend for
Yes,
you.
so
all this kind of a thing. Because there'll come to a time where definitely all of these things will just die off and all of that.
Yes,
but at the end of the day, too, if while we are growing up, we do not pay attention to these little things. Like we were talking about tiredness. Because most of the time, what really makes woman tired is not necessarily what she does. I think I have experience.
Okay.
All right. My wife can work from morning till night. In fact, she go to work. She wake up by 5 in the morning, come back by 6 in the evening.
Yes.
We enter online class till around 9 o'clock in the night. And at the end of the day, still do one of the things. And if she want to have sex, she'll still have it as if she has never
Actively,
done
very
You know
well.
what I told you?
all right. But there are days that Saturdays
As if she will not even do any
she
of
won't
those
do
things.
anything, but near her she's tired.
Yeah.
So I now understand from the experience that this
body
thing is
system.
in the mind. All right, it's in the mind, and sex is wonderful if you understand the
Preach,
concept
man,
of
preach.
sex.
Yeah.
And one thing I've also discovered is that men love sex. Women sometimes you say, I don't want this, I'm tired and whatever. But one thing women don't understand is that sex is one of the points whereby a man actually connects to the woman. All right. So my little advice to the women is that, talking about marriage, your wife, listen, sex, when your man comes to you and want to have sex, don't think that you're just doing it, just what the man just wants. Whether it's food or whatever. It's a way of actually connecting to you. And if you appreciate it from that angle, sex will be a wonderful thing to do.
Okay, Miss Eshe. This is sex now wonderful.
No, it's actually a wonderful thing for
love
married people. Yes, when I get married, I will actually love it and I will enjoy it. But not as long as some people want to keep it, because that's very tiring. So what I was trying to say, like, as Mr. Eze rightly said, but though the side that looked somehow for me was when he said they told them to be having sex once in a month. Yeah. To me, that one looks like starvation, because, I mean, once in a month, once in 30 or 31 days. Like you said, sex is a bond. You're trying to get that communication, bonding, probably all the dirty talks you hear and all the promises that sometimes might come to pass or not. So, but it should just be something that should be enjoyed. It should be something that should be respected and not given to everybody the same way men love giving to everybody. But if the woman give, you don't turn on faithfulness.
don't do it. It's unfaithfulness.
And a man should do it.
Forget about man matter.
In the next 1-2 minutes, what's your issue?
I
Look
use
straight
this.
to the
I use the
audience so that I
instance.
can-
Yeah.
Newly married couple.
Yes,
Yeah.
They're not supposed to be doing it as when they were single.
Yeah.
That's why I had to use that.
Yes, reference.
It's just a hyperbole.
Yes.
It's just exaggeration. It mustn't actually be that
Once
a
in a
month.
month.
Yeah.
But at least you should get prepared.
Yeah.
You know, if you are okay, we are men. When you are filled up, when you are relaxed, when you are fulfilled,
Wonderful.
of course, the spell will even be thicker than what you expect.
Exactly.
That is it.
And
Mustn't
one time you
necessarily be
hit,
that
you give
thing.
out
Education. No.
Yeah, of course. That is why. That's the essence of.
Be educated.
I
women.
wish the younger generations will hear this and
Of course
correct
they
the
will.
animals. It's getting to the nerves. It's too much.
They fool you for months.
Just it.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, of course, you've heard everything that Mr. Izzy and Salem have said on our section. So thank you very much. It's nice to have you here.
you
This
so
is the
much,
Room
sir.
69 podcast. If you got nothing today, I want you to take something home. That sex is good and is a way of communication. I also want you to believe, like the first conversation we had when we started, that if you love a person, you can invest in the person. Don't follow what is really happening, that when you invest, they will run and all of that. Believe in yourself. First, you're good to yourself first before any other person. So continue to be a good person, but go with your brain. That's what I would advise. So go ahead and then keep watching the Room 69 podcast. My name is Confidence Paulinus. And do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please, I know you might have diverse opinions and comments. Put them on our comment section and we'll be ready to answer you. Keep watching the Room 69 podcast on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and what have you. Thank you very much. It's wonderful to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.